Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about a very small little pinhole camera. Unfortunately most of my footage has got lost. I've only got a couple of bits of footage to show, so it's going to be a bit of a talking head thing going on with this video. But before I do, I want to give a quick shout out to an amazing artist, well, a couple of amazing artists called waterglasscollab, and they sent me this amazing stained glass Polaroid SX70. Get a load of that. Amazing. So if you would like to get something commissioned, I'm going to leave the link in the description below, and yeah, get in contact with her and you know, see what she can make you. But yeah, amazing. I want to say thank you to Jess again, and this is absolutely fantastic. It's going to hang up in my man cave and will be a pride of place. But yeah, awesome. Anyway, on to the camera which I was going to talk about, and that is the Mia 6x6 10mm pinhole camera. F value is 100. It's a very slim pinhole camera, 3D printed by Andreas in Mia Pinhole. So it's all very simple to load up. You just, he says, pop open the back, which is held together by magnets, and it's a 6x6 kind of. I'm going to get into that in a minute. And it takes 120 film, and yeah, you just wind it on, and you, let me just get this focused, open it up like this. Yeah, I'll also get into this in a minute as well, where I went wrong. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about the images that I took with it. Unfortunately, like I said, the footage was lost, so I'm just gonna go through each image, talk about what it's supposed to be, because this camera gives you a very different perspective of the world. It's not something that you should expect super sharp edge to edge results. It's something that's more of a creative tool. But yeah, let's have a look at my images and then I'll give my final thoughts on this little plastic fantastic pinhole camera. Let me get my peepers on. So I'm going to use my tablet because I would use a screen over there, but I can't do that bit right now. So let's have a look at my images. So I was advised by Andreas at Mia to go really close into your image and expect wacky results. So I decided to just take a very unconventional approach with it, and just stuck it in strange places. So with the first one, I stuck it right up to a watering can in my back garden. It's a very small watering can, it's about this big. Right up to the faucet, and this is what it looks like. And as you can see, there's a lot of vignetting. It's a very, very, very heavy vignette with this camera. So next image is of some flowers in a hanging basket. Now you're gonna notice on each of my images I've got this kind of blacked out area, either on the bottom left or the top right. It's depended where I decided to rotate the image. That's because I goofed every single one of my images, and it's down to the fact that when I open the pinhole camera like that, it doesn't go all the way. It's supposed to go right up. You can see there's two magnets here, so you have to make sure it clears both magnets in order to give enough space for the pinhole. But unfortunately I didn't realise that, so I just did that, and because I did that, this little corner here shows up in all the images. So something else to keep in mind if you have one of these and you're going to use it for the first time, make sure you open that bugger all the way up. So yeah, so I decided to get a bit more creative with my images, and the next one was basically I attached it to a water faucet in the kitchen and started doing some washing up and washed my hands and just left the water running, as you can see by this footage here, how I had it set up. And yeah, and this is the result of that. Next one I decided to do was a self-portrait. What I did, I attached it to a swing in our back garden, and I put my face right up to it. I mean, something like this, right up to it. It just gives you an idea of how close you can get to this pinhole and how much of a field of view it's given you. Yeah, and I stayed there for a good 30 seconds or so, and yeah, that's the result of my amazing self-portrait there. Again, I've got another self-portrait. This time I had it attached to my bike, and as you can see on the top right, you can see that the pinhole cover is visible because I didn't open it all the way. And yeah, it's kind of an interesting image. It's not amazing by any stretch. Actually, none of these images are really that great. But yeah, it's another self-portrait, but this time me on the bike. And then whilst out and about, on a regular area which I go, near Sandford Lock, there's a pile of logs. And so I decided to stick it right in between the logs to kind of give it a, well, this kind of thing going on here. I was actually quite surprised by how sharp it was. It's actually pretty sharp on close details for a pinhole camera, you know, and considering how wide it is quite a sharp little pinhole. And again, on the same day whilst I was out and about, I decided to do a chain which was on a gate. Again, I put it right up to that chain, as close as I can get to, and yeah, that's the results of that. Again, you can see the pinhole cover shown in the shot. Again, on the same day, I was out by some bridges, and in fact there's another bridge there in the image, but you can't really see it, and there's a train going past, but again, you can't see it. It's yeah, so it's not a great image. I thought it was going to come out better than that, but it didn't. And yeah, it's all right, but yeah, could be better. Yeah, the last image is basically of daisies that I saw down by a riverside, and it's probably, for me, the best image I took out of this roll. I call it Crazy Daisy because it's just the daisies are kind of, you know, all wacky around the edges there. So what are my thoughts about this Mia Pinhole camera? As you can see by the images, it's not going to be for everybody. Some people are going to hate it. For example, my wife really hates the images from this. It's more of a very funky, creative kind of tool. I'm going to use it, but I'm only going to use paper negatives in it. I don't think I will want to have the expense of using a whole roll in this. It's not something I would use all the time. It's something I would use on occasion if I feel a little bit in the mood for something a little bit different. Now, when I was saying it's a 6x6, I have noticed that. So inside, as you can see, the frame is 6x6 here, but the coverage of the pinhole on film and on paper is very small. It's like right in the center, and all the rest is black. So if you're clever enough, you might actually be able to just wind it on just a little bit and actually get more shots per roll with this, because it doesn't cover the 6x6. I'm presuming there's a reason why it's got 6x6 on here and not like this, for example. It's definitely more of a half frame 6x6, if that's the best way to describe it. It doesn't cover all the edges, it really just covers the central area here. So if you're, like I said, smart enough, you could just wind it on a little bit and you might actually get more shots per roll. I've yet to try that myself, but I probably won't. I'm not exactly rich, and I like to preserve my film and save a bit of money here and there. This is why I'm doing paper negatives, because I want to enjoy the analog aspect, but the cost of development and stuff like that is a little bit expensive for film, for me, and the scanning and stuff like that. And it's far more cheaper for me to home develop with paper and then scan it on my flatbed here. So yeah, I will be using this. I do actually think it's kind of funky. I do think it's kind of fun, but I wouldn't recommend it for everybody because it's not really going to be for everybody. It's just one of those kind of niche, unique looking kind of things. But that is really what pinhole photography is all about, you know, unconventional imagery. So it's a lot of fun, but again, just to keep aware that if you get one of these and you use it for the first time, make sure you don't make the same mistake as me, flip it all the way up. And yeah, and that's the Mia 6x6. Nothing much else to say really. You'll probably see me using this now and again, but as I said, paper negative. I'll leave details about this camera in the description below, and yeah, the Mia 6x6. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's a bit of a short one, but unfortunately, as I said, lost the footage, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye for now.